Fellas, welcome to the Front Row Dads podcast. I'm your host, Jon Vroman. I'm joined by Ali Jafarian, my brother, my co-creator in this mission. And Ali and I are going to be talking today about summer events within Front Row Dads. And the spirit of this is really designed to talk about who these events are for, what's going to be covered there, why they will benefit you should you choose to come. And whether you're a member of Front Row Dads, deeply involved in our community, or somebody who's newer to Front Row Dads, trying to figure out what this is and is it for you, this show will be valuable. And we'll also have an opportunity to get into maybe a little bit of why we did all this from a business perspective and our thinking about the calendar and what's offered within the community and to newer members. So without a longer intro, Ali, welcome, brother. Good to see you.
Thank you, brother. Pump the jam.
I'm still sitting here in awe of how long it took us to start this episode. So it's 15 minutes of a total tech to full. So here we are, man. We made it happen. We're just so the math, knowing that you're in the tech space, and we're wrestling with logging into Zencastr.
Yep. That was the pre-summer event.
Yeah, that's right. How are you, man, in this moment? How's Ali's heart?
Dude, Ali's heart is full. It is happy. It's dancing. It's engaged. So we're currently in the middle of our awesome new learning journey, and it's very alive with the season. So as spring is in full bloom, and I'm even starting to feel summer vibes. Like I just went for a run and I was sweating easily. So yeah, man, this is when my body starts to light up.
Yeah. Dude, Austin had this very easy spring. It's been incredible because sometimes it goes from winter to like 100-degree temperatures every day for 3 months. And we had this beautiful several weeks and it's been awesome. And then today it's going to be like 103, which we like, welcome to summer, baby. Here we go. This is why maybe it's no coincidence that today I start planning a 1-to-1 trip with you in Colorado. Hey, man, I'm coming north. So, dude, speaking of Colorado, let's talk a little bit about what's happening this summer and maybe what you could do. I'll invite you to give a very high level overview of some of our events, and maybe we can just speak in headlines, and then we'll back up a little bit and take a deep dive into each one. But from your perspective, man, what's available to our members and even to people who want to become members? What's on the calendar right now?
Yeah. So there's 3 awesome events. The first one is the Rite of Passage, taking place in the Grand Canyon, that you will be attending.
Brand new, baby. I'm so excited.
So and that's one of those where like, I can't wait. This is focused for teens. I would say I can't wait for my kids to be at that age. I can also wait because there's other things to do with them now. But that thing sold out instantly, which showed the demand, the natural demand that we have in the community. It's being led by some awesome veteran FRD, Christy Mick, Mike Bursick. And the people that are joining, you included, is like this beautiful cast of fathers and their sons. So it's cool because it's new territory. It's also something that has become a very prominent focus for us. Rites of passage, intentional rites of passage. So leading our children through into, the teenage years and then adulthood. Like it's one of those things that just has become forgotten in culture, especially in like US culture. And so I'm excited for that, even though I'm not going to be there. I know it's going to be amazing. How do you feel going into that soon? What is it, a month away?
Excited because it's the first. Well, not only is it the first event that Front Row Dads has put on for, a dad and their son or daughter, right? That's super cool. But I didn't design it, which is also incredible to be now a participant in a Front Row Dad event. I'm going to be surprised. I'm just, right now the messages are going back and forth when people are flying in, how they're meeting, and the crew that's going. And of course, like you said, the people leading it are remarkable humans. So it's just going to be awesome, man. I'm excited to see what unfolds. But time with Tiger right now is good time. At 15 years old, it's a very real thing that he's about to get his license, and that changes how much I'll probably see him, and
Right.
adulthood changes maybe how much I'll see him. So it's just different. And I'll also tell you this, man, that trip is having an impact, will have an impact, and is already having an impact on my relationship with Tiger, but it's also Ocean too, that it's having an impact on, because it's reminding me of how precious 10 years old is now that Tiger's 15. So really thrilled about that. So anyway, that event's coming up in the Grand Canyon. All events that we're talking about, by the way, if somebody wanted to take a peek at them, you can see the events page, frontrodads.com/events.
Yep.
So, all right, what's next?
Next is the Summer Summit. So this is an event out here in Colorado in my backyard. It'll take place in Keystone, which is a very special place for me for many reasons. One of which is that that's typically where I go invest time with my family during Mother's Day every year. So I was very biased to choosing that location with the support of the team. And this is also new territory in that we want to create something that has some of the beautiful dynamics that we've done at VIP retreats, which are like the essence of Front Row Dads, the magic that you started years ago, but also mix in some new things and bring hyper focus to family. So the theme of this event is the family heartbeat. It was fun designing it. I shared that with you. I like a kid, I had these ideas where we can create and lean in and connect as men to embody the culture, the design, the legacy that is family. And so there's all these reasons that I'm excited, both the environment, and then also the body of work, and then just leaning into something new. So it's something that was malleable. We had original intentions for it, original vision of what it could be, and then it just gradually become what it's become. And that's beautiful. That's a form of acceptance that I'm continuing to lean into.
Dude, there's a couple reasons I'm thrilled about this event, and one is kind of a mid-year check-in. Hey, we're halfway through the year. A lot of front row dads have said that coming to events is a great reset. You get a chance to just pull back for a second and evaluate, how's it going? Where do I need to pivot? Where should I double down? That's beautiful. I think the location is a beautiful spot. So many of us need nature. We need space. We need mountains. We need altitude. It's a beautiful time of the year to be in Colorado. And that's going to be an essential part of it. I think also about, this is really in some ways will be for us, I believe, a flagship type of event, because the heavy focus on parenting and marriage at this event is very, very cool. The heavy focus on your family, always a focus at every event that we do. And other events will incorporate a little bit of the business evolution, the wealth and legacy, the intention, or the vibrant health and the emotional intelligence pieces, right? So all of that gets included, but this one in particular is going to be a great opportunity for guys to check in on their family, and also a beautiful time because so many people travel with their family in July and August, that before you go take that vacation, like, get your mind right, get your strategy right. I love that thought. If you think you're enlightened, spend a week with your family and see what happens. And dude, that reminds me of like my summer trip years ago where I thought, oh, I'm going to show my kids how to be like calm under pressure. We're going to do this trip with the van and pull the trailer behind us. And that was a trip in showing my kids my humanity and how to apologize.
Yeah.
So it is really important that before your kids are out for the summer, before you get out there and engage with them over the summertime, which a lot of our guys do, this is the chance to really huddle up with the men, which is going to be very, very cool.
Yeah. Well said.
Yep. All right. So that's in Keystone, Colorado. It is an event for members of Front Row Dads. But if somebody is not a member, can they go? Or do they need to sign up to become a member and then they can go?
We are
This one.
Yes. Yeah, we are allowing guests, especially if our existing members want to bring a friend.
Yep.
And that's also new territory. So, like you said, to not reiterate all the things, but it's like this is becoming something that we're investing intentional energy to be a seed,
Yep.
to grow into something, to observe how does it take shape. And yeah, I think there's just like we've experienced with FRD Live at the end of the year, there's something beautiful that happens when you invite non-members in, when you bring their energy and when they get to experience what we get to experience, because aside from what they get, they also give and we get things from what
Yeah.
they bring. And I think that's something important to recognize because it's often missed. It's like, oh, we've got a membership. It's this amazing group of dudes. It's just for us. And there's still things we can learn. I believe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, and ultimately, look, everybody in business knows what an industry event will do for them. Oh, if you're in the whatever industry, when I was in the speaking industry, you go to events to learn how to be a better speaker. If you're in the tech industry, you go to tech events and meet people. And, this is the one you go, well, why would you think that being a dad doesn't require any collaboration or thinking time, right? Or resources or skill building. Like that's what this is for. So if you are a driven man, somebody who wants to achieve a lot in your lifetime, you value community, you want to be a great dad, and you want to win in all the other areas like business and health, et cetera, then this is the event for you. Like this is your chance to go connect with other guys, share best practices, and grow.
Totally.
All right, Summer Summit. And you said there's a third one.
Yep. Last one is the good old Colorado adventure. So that also takes place out here in Colorado with me and Chris Emick and some other extraordinary men. This year, we actually have several guys coming back from last year, and a couple of which this will be their third time.
Wow, that's
So
cool.
it's become this very intimate, soul nourishing, deeper men's work, explore, and then it always includes a mountain of some sort. So I selfishly choose that because I want to climb mountain and then I want to do it with my brothers. So there's always learning and climbing big mountains in Colorado. And, I'm a little bit sad. I was sharing with you this morning when we were catching up that there's something in my heart saying this is the last time I personally want to lead this for now in this season. I'm not 100% clear on that, but there's like a knowing as I'm finishing some of the design and looking at it. And this is, again, a form of acceptance, a form of feeling complete in knowing that I love this experience. I really do. And there's also this aspect of letting go at a certain point, being like, someone else will likely lead this, or I may want to go explore something else because it's part of who I am. But with that sadness comes this burst of joy and recognition that I'm going all out on this one. Going to dance with cool things and introduce some stuff that I think will really help and nourish the guys.
And this is an epic experience. I was there for one of them, and it is a smaller group of guys, or right around a dozen. Is that where you're at?
You got it.
Yeah. So a smaller group of guys, around a dozen, and this is truly an outdoor adventure. This is, the summer summit is think more of like men gathering at a property, if you will, that type of event. This is think camping probably more, right? Think rugged outdoor biking
Name,
adventure.
you got it. Yes.
Um, both both powerful, both different,
Yes.
and yeah, so that's cool. So there we go. 3 events that we've got coming up. We got the Rite of Passage, which is sold out, but I wanted everybody to know about that. We want everybody to know about that because that's something that, based on interest, we may offer multiple Rites of Passage events through the year, but certainly next year, because based on how fast that sold out, at least one next year. So maybe you could get on a waiting list if you're interested. The ages for the kids for that this year was like 13 to 16. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, right in the early mid-teens is
Yeah, so it's either 12 to 15 or 13 to 16, something like that. I think that was the age, but that info is probably at frontrowdads.com/events. And then the Summer Summit is open to all of our members. It's inspired by kind of what was happening at Front Row Dads Live, although it will be a different event, different experience, different vibe for sure. But that is something that if you're like, hey man, where's a starting place for me? I'm a member. I've been in Front Row Dads. I've attended the online events like the FRD Engage that we're in the middle of right now. I've attended some of the deep dive calls. I'm in the one-on-one program. I've got a band, but I've never been to a live event with Front Row Dads. My advice is go to the Summer Summit.
Yep.
That's my advice. Go to that event. That is a good starting place for you. And especially if you're a guy who's like, man, I've been listening to the podcast for a while. I really think I want to do Front Row Dads, but I don't know. I need to kick the tires a little bit. Right. Or maybe like, what does it feel like to be with all these guys? Then come to that event, roll the dice, see what happens. Go all in for those 3 days. And then lastly, the Colorado Adventure, which is a very personal Ali Jafarian project.
Yeah.
You gave birth to it. You are the leader of this project with, I know, other great men and great supporters. That event is a smaller event, 12 guys, deep immersive experience. You have to be a member to go on that event. And that is something that you can, if you're interested in, how would they is that information on the events page, or would they reach out to the team at frontrodads.com account? What would you tell them to do if they're interested in that one?
Yeah, that one is a little bit more of you want to reach out, and if you're not a member, um, tell us why you feel called to this. And I also want to acknowledge it very much has been a byproduct of both Chris and my energy. There's a beautiful story on how this started 4 years ago from voices in the community, and
Oh yeah.
stepped up to lead, and I joined him, and then we continued co-creating. So thank you for acknowledging this, my baby, because I do have a strong attachment to it. But it is a special thing that, aside from all the men's work and the culture of FRD that we bring, we also get to share a bit about Colorado, the hiking, the mountain climbing, like you described. So it has that extra um, advantage for people who want to push themselves a little, where they're like, I've been wanting to climb a mountain. This is the
Yeah.
container for that.
Yeah. Dude, talk to me for a moment about the emotional aspect of creating, designing, and leading these events. So let's get real here, man. It ain't all rainbows and unicorns. And yes, we're pumped about these events. Yes, they're exciting to plan. Um, but dude, for a moment, let's just also share the real deal, because I think guys appreciate always vulnerability and honesty, and I think we can relate to that. And it's nice to know that not everything's just working perfectly in any given moment. So it's an open-ended question, but talk to me a little bit about the emotional roller coaster that this has been, because I know it has been one.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to name that. I want to hear you answer this question after I. So what comes to me right now is that designing these events is very synonymous. It's very similar to how I used to create art as a child.
Mm.
And I'm an artist, to be clear. Like my way of being is creating, designing, making things. And then I have this beautiful explorer, athlete archetype that wants to go out in the world and do hard shit. Like that's why I seek the self-discovery. I seek the brotherhood. I seek the awareness, the vulnerability, the connection. And back to designing it, I immerse myself. So I look at different angles. I research properties, trails, places to stay, exercises that have landed for me with other amazing people that I've done work with, like you. And it's this puzzle that I start and I put down, and then I come back to it and I come down. And like sometimes I will get voices. I'm trying to get better about that. I'm learning that my artist brain can just go heads down and get lost in flow, and then come up and be like, oh shit, I might have forgot a few things. Like, so that's why I have support system like you, Tanya, and even my wife, my kid. I throw things out them like, what do you think about this? But it's just like that. As a kid, I would just get lost in these big artistic projects. I remember science fairs, man. I would pour into them
Mm.
and like make them all perfect and design every angle. So that's what it feels like in terms of the design. The execution is a different form, because now it's like, great, got to put my project manager hat on, got to knock out some of these logistics. And again, I always have help, whether it's Chris, whether it's you, whether it's Tanya, the team. But that's more tactical. That's like, okay, the artist needs to go rest. And now it's like the engineer, the doer, the masculine drive energy, like needs to come full force to get this thing going. Because as we both know, it's fascinating the energy it takes to get men to gather.
Mhm.
And that's emotional. That's emotional because it's like the kid in me is like, look at this cool thing I designed. And then you show it to the world. And if people don't immediately sign up, the kid starts getting scared and worried, like, well, is this not good enough, etc. Like these are real thoughts, real emotional
Yeah.
feelings. And then
Exactly.
moving into the experience, that's when I get to just be Ali who embraces challenge and then can embrace peace,
Yeah.
who can face fear and then also embody love. Like it's this roller coaster. You've seen it several times. We could have a whole discussion around this, but the end result is magical because I'm after these experiences, there's usually this 2 or 3 day nourish, like soul nourishing state that I'm left
Mhm.
in. Where I was just trying to explain this to a buddy the other day. I'm like, it's one of the few times where there's truly nothing for me to do, which is rare. Get to
Yeah, yeah,
figure out shit to do. I know you can relate. And
yeah.
and where I started to recognize this pattern, JV, is that in this 48, 72 hour period, like I will sit a lot. Like I'll sit just with thoughts, meditation, I'll walk, I'll be very still. And
Mm,
it's this funny internal dialogue because my mind will try to speak up. My ego will be like, yo, bro, okay, it's over. Go. It's time to get on, do the next thing. And my body's like, no, thank
mhm.
not happening. Like we're gonna be with this. So that's the best way I can describe it. And back to your original question to kind of close these thoughts, is very emotional. Some of the best, most meaningful experiences are emotional because they allow us to feel different things, the whole range.
Yeah.
So that's how I would respond. How about you? What does it look like? What does it feel like?
Well, like you, man, I love the design process. I've been in the event space now for, it's crazy to say, 30 years. I mean, I started this at 20 years old. Um, and more specifically, I mean, not dad events, but for the last 10 years, these front row dad events, we've been designing and executing them. I love it. There's very few things that make me feel so alive than crafting an experience so that when men gather, they can look within, they can have a powerful transformation from the inside out, and then get a chance to share it with other great guys. Like nothing makes me happier than when men find their tribe, build relationships, and everybody's lives are better as a result of it. They're healthier, they're happier, their families are more impacted, their businesses grow. Like that is my greatest joy, man. So I'm on purpose when I'm doing this. And it's also very real, like the business part of it, signing a contract with a hotel, guaranteeing rooms. If anybody's ever like, man, that's a lot of money to get people together, I'm like, let's show you our P&L, and let's show you some experiences of men who have actually hosted events like this and lost 20, 50, $100,000 trying to put guys in the same room
Yeah.
and lost sleep for months on end because the truth is, like, organizing schedules, getting a bunch of men to commit to dates, putting it all together, it is an immense amount of administrative work, and there's teams working behind the scenes for months leading up to it.
Yep.
And so grateful, by the way. Let's give some love to those teams that within Front Row Dads that make that happen, right? We have an epic crew here working behind the scenes. We have two full-time team members in Argentina working. We have on our staff two full-time members who are working for membership and events, and then we have multiple contractors who lean in and put it together. And I say all that because it's a real business. Like, and a real business comes with strategy. It comes with a real consideration and risk of saying yes. And how do like anybody who is out there as an entrepreneur attempting to sell a product, which we're selling a product, we're selling this community, this events, we're selling it. It's like, well, what do you do first? Do you commit to the event and then sell it, or do you sell it and then make the event? And how do you balance the two? And what happens if there's a lot of people that come and you don't have room? And right, what happens if you schedule too much and not enough people? Like, there's a lot of questions that go into it. And I'm really proud of our team for how we've been able to pull this off. And yet I just want to, what I'm feeling and what I want to acknowledge is that it is work, and it's work I love. It's both of those things, dude. You know, there was a moment when we were even wondering, like, should we do this event? Is there too much on the calendar? Are we sending too many emails to the guys? Are we giving them too many different options? How simple should our messaging be? how many layers of like what type of guy do we want to serve and what theme? Should it be one? Should it be two? How do we layer this in? There's so many questions to be brought up. And I just want to pay respect to you and to the team and to the process and let everybody out there know that we're working our asses off here to make something great for you, and that if somebody is a member or comes to our events, they're not only, and primarily, we want it to benefit you. Like we want you to show up so that you can be better. And the secondary invite is for you to think of yourself as an investor in a mission. And here's the thing I want to say now that I want to say every time, Ali, we talk about front row dads is like, what's the why for me? Why do I wake up? Why do I want to do this? Lots of reasons. But the biggest one is I want to build a brotherhood that when my boys are adults, they would want to join it because it's that good. And that if they joined it, I would feel like, man, I can rest easy knowing that my boys are part of this community that was co-created by a bunch of great men, not created by Jon, co-created by a bunch of great men. And that makes me super happy. That's where I feel like I'll get to my deathbed, Ali, whenever that day may come. And I will be so proud of the life I lived. I will be so proud of this mission. That's the best part for me.
Dude. Hell yeah. So a few final reflections I want to do. First, I want to reflect back that I see you and the way that you show up and you have for many years is not only masterful, but it's real. That's why I've chosen to walk with you, to co-create with you. And I'm acknowledging that, one, to see my great friend and my brother, but also to emphasize that this is human work.
Yeah.
And I want to bring awareness to that because you had a great point earlier. You're like, guys will quickly go to a business event. They'll quickly go to a tech conference. No questions asked. And I believe it's because there's this perceived ROI. Like, oh, I'm going to go there and I'm going to come back and have tools to 2x my business. Or I'm going to get these new tactics and I can deploy AI even faster and get efficiency back. And that's fine. That's real. It's tangible. Human work is hard to quantify because I could make a really good argument that you could leave with $100,000 worth of quote unquote value, but you won't know that because it's human work. It's not something that's so easy for us to be like, well, here's why you should show up, blah, 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 bullet points, just trust us, etc. It's one of those things you have to experience it. I have this blog post, a meaningful blog post. It's like halfway written and it's about the magic of FRD because that's the word that always comes up. It's like, it's magic. And I'm not saying this as like any form of sales dust or pitch. It's just magic. It's like church. It's real. It's soul nourishing. It's human centered work. And so I just wanted to make sure I acknowledge that because I do have choice and freedom to go to plenty of events. And most of my energy is deployed here because it's real, it's human. And aside from being a better father, being a better husband, a family man, there's all these extra benefits around being in a container with extraordinary men like you and all of our brothers. So thank you for leading. Thank you for creating these opportunities. It's magic.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much, Ali. Thank you, brother, for co-creating with me and fellas out there listening, or ladies out there listening who are going to tell your fellas about this. Let me just recap very quickly. So we said there's a Rite of Passage event that is for a dad and a child. That child being a teen, I think it was somewhere between 12 to 15 or 13 to 16, somewhere in that range. That event is sold out this year, but you can join a wait list. You can let us know that you're interested in that for a future event. So based on interest, we will continue to build and launch programs that support you. So that's one. Excited about that coming up next month in June as we record this next month. And then we have the Summer Summit, which is also in June. That's in Keystone, Colorado. That is for all of our members who are ready for a live event experience. And nothing beats a live event experience. Like, Does online help you? Definitely. Do podcasts help you? For sure. Like all these things help you. But dude, a 3-day event, immersive experience, momentum, perspective, brotherhood in person, nothing beats it. Get yourself to one live event each year with Front Row Dads. Make it happen. It'll be the best investment. I promise you, man. It'll blow your mind. Our feedback on these events is, there's a reason we have 80% return rate on our events. There's a reason that our average review is 9 and above on all these events. And these are men who've been to a lot of events and have a lot of things to compare it to. So Summer Summit, and then lastly, the Colorado Adventure small group, about 12 guys led by Ali into nature. Think more outdoors type of experience through that, more rugged, testing your physical limits a little bit more. So reach out if you're interested in that. You can always email our team at frontrowdads.com for anything. You ever have a question, team at frontrowdads.com. We will direct you, and all the events will always be shared at frontrowdads.com/events. It's going to be a great summer, Ali. Summer 2025, baby. It's wild. It's here. Next summer, I should say this, like we're approaching our 10-year anniversary with Front Row Dads. So we will have our 10-year anniversary event in October 2026. That's bonkers. So anyway, just thinking ahead. Anything you want to say, brother, to close this out?
No, man, thank you. It feels complete. Just pumped to embrace the summer. Yeah.
All right, guys, if you're out there, you want to be a better dad, you want to be a better husband, and you want to do all that, and grow a big business, a successful business, a profitable business, we want you to have it all. Go to frontrowdads.com for more information. Thanks for listening today, fellas. If you got value from this episode, I ask that you take 1 second right now and you share this with another dad in your life that you respect, that you know is committed to becoming a better man, family man, and businessman. And on that note, I want to honor you for choosing growth. Your family will thank you years from now for all the effort that you're putting in to learn the strategies so you can show up more fully for them today. Take care.